Hello and welcome viewers. Today we are going to service 2010 Ford Fiesta diesel. So we are going to first, it's quite hot because the engine's warm, going to drain the oil and do the oil filter like I always do. I think it's best to kind of do first. Like I always say, make sure the engine is warm, running temperature, so all the crap and crud comes down to the bottom, makes the oil thinner, easier to get out. Good tip, take off the actual oil cap first and leave it to the side, so just in case you get distracted, your phone rings, you have to go for dinner, or anything can happen, you might forget you put oil in. I know it sounds easy and stupid, but believe me, it can happen. So I always do that just so you know, if you do look at the engine, well, there's maybe something not right there. So we're going to lift this up now. We're going to drain the oil and do the oil filter and then go from there. Sorted. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is take off the covers underneath. You can see what I mean. Right, 21mm, and these are the worst ones to do because the plug is straight down. To try and get that covered here. Now I'm using an oil drainer, which you can see is there, so I can let the actual sump nut fall, because it's just going to fall into the top of my drain and it's not going to, there's a filter there, so hopefully I won't get covered in oil. Very close. Now, still stuck on that. Okay, so a bit of sealer on there for some reason. It just maybe got caught on something. Right, so I'm just going to tighten this now. I've left it for a good while, so all the oil would have drained out the filter, because I have to do the filter from the top. And again, you don't want these too tight, you just want them a nice, snug. Always good to wipe all the oil away, just in case there is a leak. You can see it, because when you put the oil in and the filter, it's always good just to check for leaks, make sure there is no leaks. So that's that. Put it off the lift now and get the oil filter. Now the oil filter is just below here. Now Ford, for some reason, on a lot of the models, they've changed their engine to a French engine. Don't ask me why, because they're crap. But anyway, enough of that. Now to get to the filter easy, you need to take off the air intake. And the way you do that is just get a flat blade screwdriver, there's a little lip, just pull it under and it literally just pops out. So just put the screwdriver under that lip there, quite simple. This then just literally just turns off, so you turn it and it just clips out. You turn that like 90 degrees, the camera's picking up this. Turn that 90 degrees and it just lifts up out of there. Hopefully this is coming through, but it's just the sun and everything, it's just difficult. Is down here is a filter, so 27mm. So yeah, 27mm, and you have to be careful because again it's plastic, a plastic housing on an alley case, and you can very easily break the plastic housing by over tightening them, and even sometimes try and take them off because someone's put them on too tight before. And there we go. Now there's a little kind of tip there sticking out, and I'll show you what that's for now in a second. Now, what you have to be careful of is you put this in before you put the cap on top, because this little kind of nipple thing here sits into a hole inside the actual housing. If you put this inside the cap first, you're not going to be able to locate this hole. You're going to snap this off, and what it actually does, it causes the oil light to come on. The oil light can flash, and it's very delicate. So what you need to do is you need to put your head in, you need to find out where it locates, put it in, which can be awkward, especially where these are. It's just a stupid way of doing it. I don't know why Ford went to these French engines. Now, that is in. It's nice and straight. And I know I've connected into that hole. Now I can put this cover back on. If you try and do it any other way, unless you're very lucky, you're going to break that little thing off. You're going to need a new filter. And it's just more hassle. And again, you don't need to tighten these hard. But obviously you need to tighten them good enough, but not, you don't have to go mental on them. Just a nice nip, like the sump. Now, and it's always a good thing to check once you put the oil in to make sure it's not leaking. There is an oil seal around that on the plastic lid, but honestly I'm telling you now, if it's not leaking, don't change it. I've seen loads of times people change them and they start leaking afterwards, so I only change them once they start leaking. So now we can put this back on. This just pops in. And there we go. So that's all that back. Now what we're going to do is pour the oil in. Now I always bang on about oil and how important oil is for any engine, and it is vitally important you get the right oil. I'm using 530 fully synthetic Castrol A5 on this, for this car. Now the number you need to watch out for, because this is the Ford spec number, is WSS, let's see if I can get it here, where are we? WSS-M2C913-C. That's the number you need for these particular Ford engines. That means it's the right oil for this car. Now this oil does do a few more cars as well. But if you put cheaper oil and stuff in it, you can damage your turbo, you damage your engine, you just do so much damage. It's just not, it's not worth it, believe me. To try and save a couple of quid on buying cheap oil, in the long run, you'll regret it. Because it just isn't worth it. Now, if you're unsure, it's just best to add a litre at a time or half a litre, just until you get it at the right level. I've added 2.5 litres there, which I know is not enough, but I'm just going to let it settle. As we can see, we are halfway up the dipstick. What you've also got to remember is the oil filter. So when you start it, the oil filter is going to take some oil as well. And depending on your engine, you know, your oil filter can take up to a litre of oil, depending on what type of engine you have. So I'm going to put another litre or so in. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the engine. Till the oil light goes off. I'm going to wait 10-15 seconds, turn off the engine, leave it to sit for maybe another 10-15 seconds and dip the oil then and see what level we are at once the filter's taken some. you might have heard the fan kicking and stuff. Don't worry about that. The air conditioning is turned on in this car. That's why it's making that noise. So I'm going to leave it a few more seconds. We're going to wipe the oil off the dipstick and let's see where we're at. As we can see, we've gone back down to about halfway. So I'm going to put another ½ litre in, see what happens. Yep, just a tiny bit more now. Not a lot, maybe half a cupful. Right, perfect. Oh, I didn't show you that. Oh, there we go. You can see, perfect. So that's now that done. Now what I'm going to do next is just check the antifreeze level. We're a little bit below the maximum mark, but do we need to top it up with water or antifreeze? So let's find out now. We are good to -23, which I think we're going to be okay. If we get -23, we're going to have more problems than that. So I just want to top that up with water. Now, there we go. Now also when we're here, just want to check the brake level. Now, we're low on the brake level too. So just need to top that up. Now just so you know, that's the colour of brake fluid and that's the colour it should be. If it's kind of black or any other colour, you want to get it changed. I just got to top this up, which can take a while depending on what sort of system it is. Doesn't need a lot, but you can only put such a tiny amount in each time. Now, sorted. Right, so next I'm going to do the screen wash. I'm going to put a shot of screen wash in and top it up with water. Now, just need to do the air filter, which is in an awkward spot, and the diesel filter, which again is in an awkward spot. Lovely. You can't really get to anything. It's so frustrating the way they've got this done. Let's see if I can do it this way. I can't remember if you can. It's not easy. Oh, you can. It's not too bad. I couldn't remember. I thought you had to take everything off. Maybe that was on the some of the Peugeots you do. Maybe they've got a bit more room in this car. So we can whip off this. Take out all the dead leaves. Now, put the new one on. Now, a nice new one. Put that down. And before I put it back on, I'm going to take the filter off. There's a bit more room I can get to the filter without this being on. So there's a couple of 7mm little bolts at the top and another little torque down the side there. Just stupid. Now the good thing to do is, if you're ever unsure of how it goes in or how it comes out or anything like that, is if you get the old, or the new one should I say, you can clearly see where the bolts go, where the clips go, or anything kind of like that. Now you do have to remember, with these type of filters, you have to be careful, obviously. They're sealed units, they're expensive, and you have to be careful with them. So we can see there's two pipes, and we can see the actual screw goes here. So it is awkward. I don't know why they put them here. It's a nightmare, in fact. So I'm going to try and get the torque out first, which everything is in the way for me to get this out. What's that? T25. Right, see if I can get this in it, which I can do. It's a lot shorter. Ah. Now we know we can get that in. There's two 7mm little bolts, or screws should I say, on the top of it. You need to take them off now, because that's how you disconnect the actual pipes from it. So, again, it's just awkward, because they give you no room to do anything. It's just ridiculous. I'm thinking maybe if I get this out first, I can get to that other one a little bit easier. It's right under the top, and I just can't quite get to it. So if I undo the filter, I might be able to pull the filter towards me to get to that a hell of a lot easier. Just put it in there, see if I can screw this off by hand now, which I can do. Now, this, as we can see, there's like a lip here. So you have to, once you unscrew it out, you have to slide it to the side and it pops out. So you slide it and pop it out. Just take it from the back clip. And hopefully I can get enough room. The problem is I can't, but I have managed to get it down a little bit. So hopefully I should now be able to get this bolt, which I can now. Now you can take this off, but I mean it's just a lot of work just to get to this thing. Now, got it. Still get this out. Everything about this is just ridiculously stupid. I don't know why Ford bother with these engines. Anyway, there's two little clips either side of this pipe. Now, with this one you can get your hands in, two fingers, and I just pull the clip out, just like that. There is a special tool for it. I've shown it on my other videos. But for that for that one, you don't actually need to do it with the tool. But the back one, I'm going to have to. But I still can't actually get this out. Even though that's now disconnected, it's still completely stuck. Now, I've managed to get two of my fingers in to take off the back one, but this is just what I might have to do is either take off the airbox. I'm going to have to do something with this because there's just no room for me to get that out. This is stupid. Right, I had to give in. I just could not get it out any other way, so I'm going to take off the whole airbox. just 2 T25 bolts here, disconnected the turbo, disconnected the breather here. Also disconnected this pipe we did for the fuel filter, the oil filter. Hopefully now, I've got one more pipe to do here. Disconnect this with the T25. And hopefully I can get this out of the way. I'm hoping. Just even out of the way enough just to get this out. That won't do it. Should be another clip on the back end of this. Yeah, that could be stopping me. Just get that clip. Now, can I get it out? Yes. Now, there we go. Right, on the old filter, you have this here, which was the clip we had on the back. It just tests for the quality of diesel, make sure there's no water or anything in it. It gives you like a warning level. Now this has to go back onto your new filter. It's a 30mm and it doesn't have to be tight, you don't, because you'll snap this. So I'm just going to get a spanner on it. I'm just going to give it, I hope this is coming through, just a tiny bit of a turn. You can see, not doing it hard. Just like that. Now, put all this back. And you're not going to be able to see it, but I'm putting the pipe in at the back. You can just push it back together now, you'll hear a click. Now, hopefully you heard that click. I'm going to leave this one disconnected for the second and put in the little T25 screw that's in it. Now these can be quite tight going back in because you kind of have to cut the thread into the new yeah, you kind of have to cut the threads into the new one for some reason, even though it's not threaded onto that, it's threaded onto one in the back, but that's just the way you have to do it. It's just unfortunate, makes it a nightmare to get in. I should have done that before I put it in. So I knew it went in too easy, because I'm going to have to take this back out now and do it again, which is a nightmare. Oh. Now, get it there now. So all you need to do is make the hole a little bit bigger. You won't have to do this. Now, it's gone through. I bet this won't go in as easy this time. What did I tell you? I'm doing now at all. So let's see now if that's in. Sorry, it's not really coming through very clear, but it's just so awkward. It's the best I can do. The sun isn't helping me, it's washing out the camera, and it's awkward on top of that. Now, getting it going back in. No room. This one will go in a bit thinner. That's fucking stupid. All this just for a filter. Now, what I'm going to do to make my life a bit easier, let's put that down, seat this back down now. You don't need to move that anymore. Screw it back down where it belongs. Now, I'm going to get the sucker I have to suck through the diesel from the tank. I can't even undo that now. There we go. To pull the diesel through the filter to fill up the filter to save me from bleeding it. So what I'm using is just oil and water extractor or fuel extractor. There's a few different names for them. And it makes your life so much easier when you use it on here. So all I'm going to do is put it in, close up to it, pump it a few times, which will draw diesel from the tank into the filter. Once you start getting diesel through, which I am now, you kind of know the filter is more or less full. I can put this back on. And now technically, this should start. But before I do that, I'm just going to put all these back and put the map sensor and stuff on. But I can do that now actually. So I'm just going to connect the map sensor here, just so I don't get a fault in the car. I'm going to leave, I can put these pipes on. Let's put the rock cover pipe back on and the turbo pipe back on. Now I should be able to start this now and hopefully it won't cut out. And hopefully it'll just start now. If it does start, well, it's going to start regardless because there's going to be a bit of fuel in the injectors. So leave it running for about 30 seconds, maybe a minute before you actually turn it off, just to make sure that the filter is completely full. So I'm going to do that now and hopefully it won't cut out. Right, so we didn't start, so I'm going to suck through again and hopefully we'll get it this time. Right, so what I'm going to do now, I've done that, clip that back in, I'm going to try it again, see what happens. Hopefully I pulled enough diesel through this time to do it without having to go near the injectors and stuff and any of that. Fingers crossed this time. Oh yeah! Sorted! Now I'm going to leave this running for a couple of minutes before I turn it off, just to doubly make sure anything. I'll turn the camera back on once I know it's definitely right. Hokey cokey, sorted. Nightmare though, but anyway. What I need to do now is I need to put this back, because I took off the bolt that holds the actual intake on. So you can put that one back. Now, so that's all back on. That back in. That back in. So the last thing, which can be difficult as well, because I have to get these. You can see there's little kind of gap clips at the back, and I have to get them in first before this goes on, because otherwise only the front will be connected and not the back. So the cars can make a funny noise. Do the middle one first, and then the other two. Sorted. Once I get the gearbox seal, I do a video on the gearbox seal, so I show you then how to top it up and to empty it and do all that, kind of do all that in the one video, and just leave this to the service. So that's it, look, all done. So look, hope it helps. Thumbs up and subscribe, and don't forget to get your hands dirty. See you for the next one.